Emor, ideas in the realm of Gematria from the Parsha for the Geulah, which means for the redemption. Geulah means redemption in Hebrew. This is Article 31 because the Parsha of Emor is the 31st Parsha. In this week's Torah portion of Emor, we find the source for the mitzvah of counting the Omer, which we are currently in the middle of. There is an interesting connection through the English alphabet. The place we find the Omer, O-M-E-R, is in the Parsha of Emor, E-M-O-R. The same letters, just rearranged. These are the verses that we find concerning the mitzvah of the counting of the Omer. I'll read the first verse and then an explanation and then the second verse. So the first verse is Usefartem lachem mimacharat hashabat miyom haviachem et Omer hatinufa sheva shabbatot timimot tihiyena. And you shall count for yourselves from the morrow of the rest day, from the day you bring the Omer as a wave offering, 7 weeks they shall be complete. Leviticus 23:15. An observation on this verse is that it is verse 15. It's 23 verse 15. And this Shabbat, Parshat Emor, is the 15th of Iyar. So this year it is especially accurate because it will be read, this verse 15 about reading the Omer will be read on the 15th day of Iyar. But generally this Parsha falls out on the week of the 15th of the Omer, either before or after, give or take a week or so. That's an unusual year, but generally it's around this time. So there's an interesting connection, what they call remez, a hint to the counting, that the actual number, which has to do with counting, is the date. And this year, it's on Shabbat, which is the exact date. So it's even more accurate, more exact. But the 15th of Iyar is the 30th day of the Omer, and it always happens around this time, this Parsha. The question is, our current practice of counting the Omer is 7 weeks, which would be 49 days. However, the verse, it says that it is 50 days that should be counted up until 50 days. Ad mimacharat haShabbat haShvi'it tisperu 50 yom v'hikravtem mincha chadasha l'Adonai. You shall count until the 7th day after the 7th week. You shall count until the day after the 7th week, the 50th day, on which you shall bring ad mimacharat Shabbat. Okay, until the day after the 7th week, the 50th day, on which you shall bring a new meal offering to the Lord. Leviticus 23:16. Now, of course, it can be said that the 50 is a number that it should be counted up until. There's a famous debate whether if you say up until that thing includes the thing or it's up into it and it doesn't include the thing. It's called ad b'chlal or ad v'lo ad b'chlal. So it could very well be that when the Torah says ad mimacharat haShabbat haShvi'it tisperu 50 yom, it means until that day and then only count 49. Up until. It's 50 days altogether, but count up until the 50 days, which would not include the 50 days. Some would even say that that's a little bit, there'd be disagreement on that, but in any case, why not just say, count 49 days, just tisperu, 49 yom, yamim, whatever, and it would avoid all ambiguity. An observation of this verse is in the amount of Hebrew letters contained in this verse. Leviticus 23:16. The very verse that says to count 50 days is 50. If you count the Hebrew letters of this verse, you will find 50 letters. The verse that says, count 50 days, has itself 50 letters. Clearly, the Torah is teaching us something by telling us 50 days. But what is unique about 50 days? In Gematria, the words Chamishim Yom, 50 days, all spelled out, Chamishim Yom, the way it's written in the Torah, has a numerical value of 454. The number 454 is the numerical value of the word Tamid, which means always, as in Ner Tamid, the perpetual flame, or Matmid, the continual learner. The message of the 50 days, it seems, is to always, Tamid, to always be counting, always be studying, always be analyzing, always be learning. We may count 49 days, but the 50th day is dedicated to the count itself. The 50th day is the count of the practice of counting. Shabbat Shalom. Have a great Shabbos.